Meek in here, gang. That's what's up, man. Today, I got a special guest. We got Legion, we got the GOAT, we got Gabe up in here, Midi Money up in here. You know what I'm saying? One of the producers that really invented a nice way to sell beats. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people, when they think selling beats, man, you know, like placements and beat stars and all that type of stuff is cool. But there's other platforms on here to sell beats, and the thing with Producer Grind is I want to make sure y'all know all those platforms. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure, because you know you could use any type of, you can use any type of system or marketing tactic and turn it into your own. But we've been with Gabe for a minute. You know, Gabe, and I think this is about his third or fourth time on here. No cap. So he's gonna come on here and just get rid of this myth, this crazy thing. I don't know if y'all posted it. I don't know if y'all seen it, but let me actually pull it up real quick. Hold on, let me go to the Producer Grind website, and just so y'all can see, let me change the camera view, man, cause Gabe is actually up in here. Hold on. Yeah, look at that right there, Gabe. What's up?
Yo, what's going on?
Man, chilling, man.
Appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a while since I've been on this platform. I love Producer Grind. I'm happy to be here.
Facts. So while I'm pulling up this post, man, just tell everybody what you've been up to.
Man, what have I been up to? I've been busy. Man, I got two things. So I've got Legion Beats, which is, music production team where we've been selling beats. We've been launching a bunch of things. We've got a contest right now we're doing with Tech9. Right before that, I did a funnel with DJ Flip that did really well. Got my sort of usual like Legion Beats funnels. So yeah, just been staying super busy. That I know we'll get into some results and stuff in a minute, but the DJ Flip one did really well. We did over 40K in less than a month. The Tech9 contest we just launched a few weeks ago. I think we just crossed 45K. I got to look at the numbers. I know we did like 5K yesterday. So it's been good. And more importantly, I'm just having fun, man. I'm just tired of honestly, man. Well, there's so much to talk about. But I've been focusing a little bit more on the Legion side the last probably almost year, whereas before that I was really focused on Midi Money, still doing both for sure, but it's been fun to kind of get back into okay, let me focus back on actually selling beats again. And then also the teaching has been great. We're going to talk about, I think we're going to bring on a couple people and talk about some people, but man, we've had what is it? I think we're up to 6 now people in the Midi Money community who have crossed the 6-figure mark. So we've got, at least 6 people have done over $100,000 in sales. We've got I don't even know how many, well over a dozen for sure that have done 10,000. We've got dozens that have done 1,000 plus, and so it's just been fun to kind of see those results.
Y'all see how this man just threw numbers? Just all these numbers. Okay, chat. First off, how much have this is like we're having a conversation, chat. So y'all just let me know how much have y'all made a month off of selling beats? Me, the most I probably made was 3 bands. I ain't even, if that, bruh. You know what I'm saying? This man threw 40 bands. What else you had said?
I mean, man, if we want to go through, maybe I should start with this one, because we talked a little bit before this, and you said you were going to ask me what's the total I've made from funnels. So I had to go back and look at my PayPal, look at my Stripe. And this is, to be clear, this is Legion Beats only. This is not Midi Money. This is not selling courses, none of that. Just from selling beats through funnels. The latest number I have, this should be pretty accurate, is $2,276,215. That was the latest number that I've got.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. I feel like it's a lot of producers. We praise a lot of producers once they hit that 6-figure mark, 100,000. This man said 2 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And the best thing about it is he has a platform, and this is not it's a new platform, but this is not he has just so much gems and knowledge that he's been speaking about for a couple years now. So if y'all new to this, y'all really been sleeping, and it really works, man. Before I was even Producer Grind, I was actually a fan of just the system and the strategy. I remember it was I gotta go back for this. It had to be 2019 going into 2020. I think it was in September. And right before I got into Producer Grind, I remember we had a VIP session in New York, And I was talking to Dylan. Dylan was like, "Bro, did you watch the podcast we did with Gabe?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't watch that." He was like, "Bro, you need to go watch that." And I remember you had got me in that podcast. You was talking about GMAS. I didn't know what it was, but it was like the biggest gym at the time. So I remember at Lowe's, I was sitting there and like as I'm working at Lowe's being a cashier, I was literally like watching your courses, like when you was doing like how to use ClickFunnels and you had like the whole videos and order and stuff like that. I was already sitting at the register watching those videos, picking up gems. You know what I'm saying? That's how much gems it was, though, for real.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And honestly, for me, it's like I like to, I do talk about those numbers, and now I like to talk more about some of the other people. Temper, who just had a $10,000 day like a couple days ago. Wish, who he'll correct me in the chat, but I think he did $114,000 in 2 weeks. My boy DGV Eric, who was able to quit his job. Clint, if you know Clint, like he's got $1,000 a day funnel. Like to me now, it's more fun kind of seeing everybody else's result, and like it's not about the money itself. Is that I get to do what I love for a living. You know what I mean? I have financial freedom, so I get to do what I want. I get to, if I want to eat something, I can eat it. If, I own my little house that I got here in Marin County, near San Francisco, which is like stupid expensive out here, but I've got my own little piece of real estate and I can travel. Like I can do what I want. And that to me is the thing that I want to help give other people. And really it comes from, like, I know we'll get into the gems, and to me the gems are like the tactics, right? Like what's the step by step, like using a software tool like GMAS or, all these different things. Maybe it's a funnel builder, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But to me, the thing that I love to get across is that business and marketing can actually be fun. And that's like the most important thing, because the thing is, like, I've never met somebody who makes incredible beats who's like, yeah, I don't really like making beats, right? In order to get good at it, you have to love it enough that you actually stick with it when it gets hard. You keep doing it for years. You get through all the frustration, right? And it's the same thing. I've never seen anybody who's built a 7-figure business or a 6-figure business even, or a successful business, and is like, yeah, I completely hate business and marketing. I hate it, right? It's always the people who are like, no, I figured out, like, actually this stuff can be really fun too. Like you can use your creativity, you can have fun doing this, and then you can make money, get your music out there in more places. And like, I love hearing all the revenue stuff, like, oh, I did $10,000 using your system. Like, that's awesome. The messages I love to hear is like, hey, I heard you on Producer Grind, and I never thought about entrepreneurship and marketing and business in that way. I always thought it was this thing I kind of had to do, but now you got me kind of excited about it. And to me, that is like the number one thing. If nothing else, if there's nothing else I teach, no tactics, strategies, nothing, like if I can get people a little more excited about putting that creativity, that excitement into the marketing and business side, to me, that's all that matters, because then you're giving yourself a chance to actually be successful and build a business in music.
So just a little background for like producers that don't know, because obviously he didn't just make 7 figures like overnight. It was definitely a process. So just to run it back, like what is like the system you're using? Like what is funnels?
Yeah, so there's a lot to it, obviously, right? But right, so lots of directions we can go. But I'll say this. So you mentioned funnels. So I think the one thing is like defining what is a funnel. And to me, a funnel is just, what is the process you have from taking somebody who doesn't know who you are, a potential customer, to them knowing you, liking you, trusting you, buying from you, and then continuing to buy from you. So really, if you have a business, if you sell beats, if you sell packs, loops, kits, if you sell anything, you have a funnel. It's just, do you have a good one? Do you have one on purpose? Do you have one that actually gives value to your customer and makes money for you consistently, right? That's all that really means. And so if you are somebody like myself who considers themselves a funnel builder, then it's just that you do it on purpose. And now you take some of the strategies, the principles behind creating that funnel on purpose, and that's how you're able to give that value and get that value in return. So we can get into all kind of details about kind of the strategies behind how to build that funnel in an effective way, but that's really all it is. It's just doing it on purpose instead of being like, well, I'm just going to do what everybody else does and hope and pray that I get a couple sales. It's just having that process on purpose. And then from there, you can do all kinds of different things. It's just, generally following some of these strategies and principles, things like always giving more value than you're getting, having a single call to action at each step, the importance of building your list, all these things that I'm happy to get deep into and I can geek out and talk about for hours. But it's basically just applying those big picture principles and strategies so that you can now create that funnel that works. So like if your funnel is I post beats on YouTube and there's a link to my beat store, like technically that's a funnel. It's just it's just not a very good one, right? It's not the one where anybody's doing, $10,000 in a day or making $2 million. It's just not a very good funnel. You have a funnel.
I feel like people think funnel, they just think of a website, but it's really more like of a, I don't know, like a system or like a strategy. Like, you got to think of it like when you walk into a dealership, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you walk there and the guy walks up to you and be like, yeah, so you want a car? That's the start of a funnel right there, you know what I'm saying? Same thing when you like looking for a house and you you know what I'm saying, they give you a house tour. That's a funnel right there. So I feel like a lot of times, and we was talking about this in I forget if it was Monique interview or Ilma interview, but a lot of times with producers, which is one of my biggest problems too, is a lot of times when y'all sell beats, yes, it's a business transaction, but at the same time, this is how a lot of it goes. An artist hits you up, hey, I want beats. Okay, here's my beat store. You know what I'm saying? It's so robotic, and I feel like people lose the relationship building or just providing value to the artist, and that's what a lot of y'all go dead with y'all beat sales. Now, not everybody, but it is a majority of people. Like, you got to think of it like I don't know, like, think of it like when you go to a car, when you go to a dealership and you're trying to get a car and the dude say, yeah, here's one, you look like you like it, you want it. Is you really gonna buy it? You know what I'm saying? No, he's gonna ride you around. He's gonna say, hey, let's go get the keys. He's gonna ride you around the car. He's probably gonna make up some backstory that happened in his life and something with the car just to get you to sell him. He's gonna have a side conversation with you while you signing paperwork. Like, all that stuff matters, because at the end of the day, if he does it right, you're gonna be like, yeah, I like this guy, he's cool, it was dope, I like the car, let me go ahead and put a down payment down. It's the same thing as far as selling beats, and that's what a funnel is.
Yeah, it's all, everything's a funnel. It's just, are you doing it well or not? So like in that case, in that example, he was doing a lot of things that we talk about when building funnels. You're developing that relationship. You're actually telling your story or telling a story that helps give the value to that thing. And if you think about the traditional way that 99% of producers are selling beats, it's like YouTube to a beat store. And the beat store has like their logo and some beats, but there's nowhere where you tell your story. You never develop that relationship. So that's one of the things. How do you develop that relationship? How do you tell that story? How do you provide more value at each step? So anyways, yeah, that's a great example, because that's what it's about. It's just creating that process on purpose, to where you're giving more value to that customer and they're giving more value to you. And in other words, you're making more money.
So like that's one problem, but I feel like another problem is more like getting traffic to you. So like, what are just some gems or like biggest producer mistakes you see as far as trying to get traffic to your site or to your funnel or to your beat store?
Yeah, so one of the things is you always want to give value first, right? So the traditional model that most producers use, they post that beat on YouTube and there's a link that basically says, you can download, you can buy this beat here in my beat store. So you're not actually leading with value. So I always, you always think about what's in it for them, right? Like, how can I give that person value for? It's like any relationship. How can I give some value first? And then eventually they'll want to reciprocate that and they'll trust me, and we can kind of, take them on the next step of that journey, of that customer journey, of that funnel. So just one example is, instead of saying, hey, click here to buy this beat, you can offer something for free, right? This could be a whole nother conversation we get into, but you could say like, hey, click this link, I'm gonna give you some free beats. Now all of a sudden, instead of maybe a fraction of 1% of the people who watch that video clicking that link, now you're gonna get 20, 50 times the amount of people watching that, that watch that are actually going to click that link, because you're offering more value. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, I'll click here for some free beats, right? And then it's about, okay, what's the process I have from there? How am I building my list? How am I converting that traffic that I'm borrowing into traffic that I'm owning? What's the process that I'm going to take to ascend them up to now make my first paid offer and my next one, so that it's continuing to grow that relationship and actually like turn that into money. And you're talking about traffic, and I think something really important to understand is the difference between owning your traffic and borrowing your traffic. So a lot of times we think about like social media, and it feels like the goal is to get more followers, more subscribers, more likes, more comments, all that kind of stuff, right? But the thing is, all that stuff, you don't own that, right? If I have a follower on Instagram, I don't own that traffic. Mark Zuckerberg owns that traffic, right? If I've got a subscriber on YouTube, I don't own that traffic either. That's, Larry and Sergey, the dudes who run Google and YouTube, they own that traffic. It's really up to them. They can change the algorithm at any time so that I get less organic reach. They can change it to a pay to play model only, like they did with Facebook, where it used to be you post something on your Facebook page years ago and all your people would see it. Right now, nobody sees it unless you pay. Right. And so they change these rules all the time. And so the purpose of those platforms is great places, like they're a great place to find those customers, to interact with them, to start that relationship. But the whole goal is actually to take them off that platform to where you own that traffic. And the only way you can really do that is if you have their email and or their phone number, because now you own that traffic. Now you can hit that person up whenever you want. You're not you're not going to be affected by an algorithm change, or if your, Instagram account suddenly gets shut down, which happens all the time, or you just suddenly don't get organic reach or whatever it might be. Now you own that traffic, you own that relationship. I can nurture that relationship. I can tell my story. I can talk to you whenever I want. I can reach out to you. I can text you. I can email you. And now I own that traffic. So that's super important, is understanding the difference and not getting confused about the goal. The goal is not to borrow traffic. The goal is to own traffic, right? We all know, Facebook, Instagram, Google, all these companies are multi-billion dollar, and I think in some cases trillion-dollar companies. And the reason why? It's data. They own that data, right? And so that's all we're doing when we're exchanging that email address and phone number for some, let's say, free beats. We're actually getting that data, which is super valuable.
Okay, so damn, you just loaded a whole bunch of clips of gems. I'm not gonna hold you. You just loaded something. I don't know. Y'all might have to rewind back and look at that part. But so just to get an idea, like just for a producer who don't know anything about funnels. So
yeah,
I'm finding artists who might be interested in my beats, and I'm offering them value. That could be a free beat, or that could be, I don't know, all the way to a free Pro Tools template or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it leads into, so what's like that next step right there? They opt in, and then where does it go?
So yeah, and again, and I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, just to zoom out a little bit, again, the whole idea with the funnel is it's just doing it on purpose. So you can have all different kinds of structures, but I'm going to talk about sort of the main one that we usually teach in MIDI Money is like, this should probably be your first funnel, the way we recommend setting it up. And then from there, you can create all different kinds of funnels. Like I mentioned the one we did with DJ Flip. That was all about getting feedback for your music. I'm doing this contest now with Tech9, which is all about getting a chance to work with Tech9, and we do trainings. Like there's so many different types of funnels, but there is one that we do recommend as your sort of first funnel as a producer. And so yes, that's what it looks like. The first thing is going to be like offer them something free. Usually it'll be some free beats. This is a pretty easy one that's going to work. If you are selling beats, selling packs, loops, kits, then you might offer them some free loops or kits or packs, right? And then on that next page, that's where you're going to do a few things that we've already started talking about. You're going to tell your story so you can actually start to develop that relationship, right? And that could be with a video, it could be with something written, ideally both. And then you're also going to introduce that first offer. And that first offer is really important because instead of just selling a beat lease, which is a commodity, which I want to explain what that means in a second, you want to give them an actual offer. So in order to make this make sense, I got to explain what I mean by a commodity and an offer. So a commodity is something that you can get pretty much anywhere for about the same price, right? So like an example would be like milk or gasoline, something like that. It's basically the same product. You can get it basically anywhere, and it's about the same price. And so when you're competing, trying to sell a commodity, there's not really a lot of options for you. It's really tough, right? If you're selling gas, pretty much the only way you're going to win is price or convenience, right? If you happen to be the gas station that's on the corner on the way home, or maybe you're a few cents cheaper or something, that's about it. And here's the thing, like the way producers are with their beats, they don't want to hear this, but your beats are a commodity. If you go to just BeatStars alone, you'll see they brag about they've got 2 million producers on there. So that means there's at least 2 million other producers all selling the same product for about the same price, right? It's a beat lease. It's anywhere from, let's say $20 to $200 for, let's say a basic MP3 license up to like an unlimited license with trackouts. It's somewhere in that range. And it's basically the same product because yes, not all 2 million of those producers are dope. Some of them are just figuring it out. Maybe they're trash, but like a lot of them are really good. So what that means is your potential customer has a ton of different places where they can get essentially the same product for the same price. That's a commodity. And you don't really want to be in the business of selling a commodity because it's really hard to win, right? And so instead what you want to do is put together a true offer. And an offer is a bundle of products and services that are put together to be irresistible and have a ton of value to your dream customer. So what that means is like, for me, you know, it's a rapper or singer, and I want to think about, okay, yes, I can sell them a beat or lease them a beat, but how can I solve more problems for them? How can I solve a higher level of problem for them? So if I'm thinking about, okay, I'm selling this to like a rapper or singer, well, okay, maybe they're going to get a beat. That's pretty cool, but I could offer more value by giving them, you know, 10 or 20 beats. Cool. That's something. We're starting. But then what else? Like maybe they know, you know, they've recorded in the past and it just didn't sound that great. So maybe I can offer mixing and mastering, or I can connect them with somebody who can do mixing and mastering, or I can offer them, like you said, a Pro Tools template that's going to help, you know, make their vocals sound better, right? Maybe I know they're going to need some artwork for that single they're going to be releasing, so I can give them a little training about how to use, you know, Photoshop or Canva or something to put together, you know, your artwork, or I can connect them with somebody who can create that artwork. Right? Maybe they know they can make that song, but they're going to have trouble actually getting it out to people. So I can have a training, or I can have a list of playlists, Spotify curators, and I can connect them with that, right? I could go on, but the whole idea is I'm thinking about what are the different problems my customer has and how can I solve that? And if I can solve more of those problems and a higher level of problem, now I'm going to beat all those 2 million other producers every single time. Why would they go get that same commodity from them when they can get that offer from me that's going to help them and give them more value in so many different ways?
Okay, so, damn. Hey, y'all, listen. Hey, y'all be trying to pay for court. Y'all be trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put names out there, but it's the right people and it's the wrong people to go to, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like the right person to go to. It's Jim's right here. It was throwing me off. I feel like I'm getting like a one-on-one session right now. So
let's go.
So, okay, so one thing I noticed you said is the beat lease, and that's a lot of things. I see a lot of times producers like, oh, how can I stand out? They do it as far as music and business-wise. How can I stand out? And one thing I see is like with the funnels or just your whole system is you sell the beats in packs. So you might do a pack of like 15 beats for this price, or you know, a big load of beats, like 100 beats or something for this price. Like, kind of talk about that and like what's your thinking process as far as that real quick.
Yeah, so it's just how can I put together an offer, right? How can I put together an offer that stands out, that gives more value? So part of that could be, yeah, I'm going to give, you know, like you said, whatever it is, 30 beats for 50 bucks, or, you know, whatever it might be. But the other part, like, I feel like people forget about that other part, but it's also, what am I bundling in with there? So like, for example, we're doing this contest right now with Tech9. They have an opportunity to work with Tech9, and we've got, you know, different prizes and different things that we're also giving them the chance to win, where, you know, they can come out to the studio and work with us. They can get more beats. They can get all these different things. We did that one with DJ Flip where they could, you know, get in front of a large audience and get feedback from, you know, from somebody who they wanted to get feedback from DJ Flip, right? So it doesn't have to just be beats. It's like, how can I bundle together these products and services in a way that's going to be irresistible? And like, part of it can be, yes, it can be a bundle of beats, but it's really just about how do I create that value? And then the other thing too is people get, you know, they say amateurs focus on the front end, meaning you just see that first thing and you think that's the whole business model. But it's not, right? Or if somebody set this up the correct way, it's not. So I might have, like, we did a beat pack last year. It's called the Icons Pack, right? And it was like 30 beats for 47 bucks. But here's the thing is, like, yes, it was 47 bucks for those 30 beats, but there's all these different options, right? So once you pick out that beat, or sorry, that beat pack, on that sales page, on that offer page, we have something called an order form bump, which is basically like these little check marks that are like right after they enter their payment info, but right before they click enter. And it's sort of the equivalent, like if you're at the grocery store and you're about to check out and they've got like the candy and magazines and those little like last minute impulse items, right? That's what an order form bump is. And so those order form bumps I have will be like, yes, you know, you're for, you know, 47 bucks, you're going to get these 30 beats. But if you'd like to get the track outs, you can get those for another, whatever it is, you know, 60 bucks. And if you'd like to get the unlimited rights, you can get that for another 70 bucks. Right. So it's not a trick. It's a great deal, but it's just another way to keep increasing that value to them. Right. And increase the value to me. So I make more money. So now all of a sudden they're not just paying that 47 or that 50 bucks. They're adding another 60 or maybe another 70. Now maybe they're paying 150 bucks just on that first page. And then immediately on that next page, I'm going to offer them something else. I call this a one-time offer or an upsell. Right. And maybe it's another beat pack. Maybe it's another 40 beats. And it's also got some some info products. It's got some courses that's going to teach them something. Maybe I'll give them a shout out on my Instagram if they get it right. All the different ways that I can think of, what are the different problems that my customer has? How can I solve them? How can I give them more value? And then there's some options, right? They can get the basic version for whatever it is, $30. They can get the version with the waves and unlimited rights for $70, and with everything with the trackouts and stuff for $120, or right, whatever it is. And then there's another offer after that, which is, hey, you can join my membership. It's a monthly membership. You get beats every month. And so ultimately, if you just looked at the front end, you'd be like, okay, this guy's selling 30 beats for $50. That's horrible. It's only, less than $2 a beat, right? But what you need to understand is, on average, people aren't spending $47. On average, they're spending $100 or more. And also the lifetime value of that customer is even higher than that, because I know I'm going to make more offers to them in the future and ultimately make more money. Does that make sense? I hope I'm trying to fit a lot into a, a short time here, but hopefully that makes sense as far as a way to look at those bundles, where if it's set up right, it's not the only thing. There's a plan, there's a funnel, there's a whole, thing attached to it that's ultimately going to turn that into a business model that's successful. If my whole business model is just, here's 1,000 beats for $1, that's it. That's not a good business model. That's trash, right? There's no way I'm going to make money. I'm going to go out of business. But if it is, hey, you can get, 30 beats for $47, that's awesome. But now I also have a plan, and I have this system, I have this funnel in place to where I'm going to offer more value and ultimately make more money. And that was the funnel, by the way, that we did $10,000 in 10 minutes on, was because we had it set up in this very specific way.
See, y'all, this is the favorite thing about Producer Grind, man. We get straight to it. And let's okay, so since we're on the subject, man, let's go ahead and address the BS, man. Let's go ahead and address all the myths, all the crazy stuff. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and Gabe, don't mind my desktop, man. It's a little shaky. But okay, boom, here we go. So we posted this video from Monique, and she was basically talking about I was asking her about beat packs, so she had something on her website, and it's basically she was selling a bunch of beats for a low amount of price. And I think producers see just this title, or they see, oh, he's selling 20 beats for this. Or I just seen somebody in the chat box said, oh, you're gonna sell your trackouts for that low, but they don't hear that other part, what you just said 20 seconds ago, that whole process. And first I want to say, y'all, if y'all just take a second to think real quick. Okay, let's take Producer Grind, just us giving out free kits or a gift card. You gotta understand, we're making a digital product. It's not like we're making shirts. It's not like we made 30 shirts and then we have to go buy 30 more shirts and 30 more letters and print them on the shirts. It's digital products. We have it. It's not gonna run out, not unless you sell the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to run out. So I think people see, oh, he's selling 30 beats for $27. That means he's selling this beat for $199. All this type of stuff. Like, bro, shut up. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's no. You and it's another thing. Okay, that's gonna tear my brand apart. That's gonna do this and do that. Okay, you have to understand the audience and who you're working with. If you're selling a beat to Lil Baby, bro, or any type of rapper, it's common sense. It's going to be a regular transaction. Advance and all that type. It's a regular transaction. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I like about Monique's site is she has, the regular, traditional, here's my beat store. You could buy this lease. But then she has this beat pack on her store, which is really targeted specifically to artists who probably don't, because here's the thing about artists, man. This is coming from an engineer background, just me being in the studio, and we literally have YouTube to MP3 saved on our bookmark. These artists do not know about the business, bro. They do not know. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them don't know about the business, man. Like, some of these kids 16, you know what I'm saying? They just rapping for fun. Some of these are grown men who just don't know. And, some of them are, artists who don't care. Like, they don't know. And it's a way better process when you kind of educate them, you know what I'm saying, on something like this. So, they might not, oh, I'm not finna buy $50 for a beat whole time. They don't even know. You get in the industry, man, your label's gonna be paying $1,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 for advance. They don't know about that yet. But okay, oh, here's a free beat, and then you lead them into a beat pack, and then you lead them into this, and then you lead them into this offer. Like, all that builds up. And I just want to clear that up, man, because y'all don't see that. Y'all just see the title like this. So producers stop selling 20 beats for $27. Y'all see this, and y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, go crazy and attack. But you have to understand, first off, we have Gabe here who said he has made $2 million altogether, not altogether, but 2 mil off of the process he used. Then you have industry producers that do this, and they could sell a beat for $10,000 and woo woo. But then you have producers on YouTube who could sell beats, and they, like Ant Chamberlain, for example. But you gotta understand, all these processes work. You know what I'm saying? All these processes work. They're proven to work. And there's no bad way, there's no good way on this type of stuff. Like, it's whatever process fits for you. Shit, you could take all the processes for real. Like, Gabe, don't you have places? Haven't you worked with industry artists? Like, just to go ahead and flex a little bit, name it through.
No, I've done a little bit of everything. So I do have a beat store. I've done some licensing. I see my boy Phil in the chat over here. I've done some licensing with him for TV and film. Gotten a couple little placements. I've gotten some engineering credits. I got a Kendrick engineering credit.
He just flexed.
A couple different, a couple little industry things. But honestly, I was never that good at the industry game. Like, I never did that great at it. And the truth is, a lot of the guys who do really well at that, a lot of them do come to me and they ask, like, hey, that, like, what I'm doing, like, this is fun, but I really want to learn how to consistently make money. And I it's cool to be an employee and get those checks, from the label, but I want to be the person who writes the checks. I want to have my own team. I want to build a business. I want to build a brand. I want to be an entrepreneur. And so it's been kind of fun to be able to work with some of these guys where I'm like, damn, like, these are producers I look up to and are amazing. They're on the industry side, but they want to learn this side of things too. And to your point, like, yeah, of course you can do it all. I mean, one thing I would say though is, if you want to be really, really good at something, you should probably focus on it. So you should probably, for a while, if you're like, you know what, this process that Gabe is talking about sounds pretty cool, I'd recommend, like, dive in and focus all of your energy on that for some amount of time. And my process has always been, let me dive in, let me focus on it, let me put my energy into it, let me put the systems in place for this to work. So let me figure out how to make it work, and then we put the systems in place. So that could be some software, some automation, that could be maybe some people, right? Hiring a team. Now, once you've got those processes in place and it's working, now you can go to that next thing. Now, okay, let me focus on licensing and TV and film. Okay, now let me focus on placements. But I feel like if you try to really focus on multiple things at the same time, it's going to be really hard to grow all those things. So start with one and really grow that one thing. And then once you've got some systems and processes in places to where that's working, then now build and go on to the next thing. That's always been what's worked for me. And I want to mention too, like you're kind of making fun of producers and not understanding, that this is a process, and maybe, like, all they're seeing is that, I think your example is 20 beats for $27. They don't know all the other steps, but it's like, it's not their fault. Like, it's not producers' fault. We're like, I'm like a marketing nerd. You know what I mean? I've read books, I've spent time, I've go to conferences, I've spoken at conferences, but that's most producers are not that. We spend our time for the most part on music. So it's just that's kind of where I see my role a little bit, is just hopefully helping make that part of it a little more exciting, so that producers can put some of that time and energy into it, because it's the only way to really be successful, is at least be conscious of it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into that. So as far as helping producers, like I said, I brought your training like 2 years ago. And I know we was talking about it behind the scenes, but how many students has actually, like, benefited from your training and from your courses?
I mean, God, we've definitely got a few thousand in our community altogether. We do these. I mentioned, some of the numbers. So we've got, as far as I know, so far we've got 6 people that have done over $100,000 with their funnels. And so we do these little awards. We hand out awards to people in our community. So this is the one if you do 6 figures. We've handed out, I think, 6 of these so far. And then we've got ones if you've done 10,000, if you've done 1,000, if you got 100. And so we have, altogether hundreds of producers who have hit those thresholds, which is something that I'm very, very proud of. You know what I mean? It's one thing to do it yourself. It's a whole nother thing to have an actual repeatable system that consistently works for other people.
I feel like that's the biggest part. Like, there's a lot of guys who say, yeah, you need to do this and do this and do this, but first off, they say that, and then they don't even help. They say that, and then they don't even open your DM, and that's the most frustrating part. Then, like you said, like, you do research, like we do research. There's people who go and research this stuff, but it's some people that really just don't know. Like, they just don't have no idea. Same thing with an artist who, you know what I'm saying, as far as buying the beat, they just don't know. I feel like this is just real good, just to get the information. And I know we do have a couple of your students on here. Um,
Yeah.
we go ahead and
And by
add
the
one
way,
of.
shout out. I know we got some MIDI money in the chat. Let us know in the chat if we got MIDI money family. I recognize some names, so always got the family with me.
I see a
But yeah,
couple.
yeah, yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I know we got some other people in there.
Oh nah, I was about to say I see a couple. I'm in that Facebook group y'all have, man. The I think it's the Midi Money Facebook group or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I see a couple people in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and add Wishmaster Beats. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, please do.
For sure. So
My
I'm gonna add
guy.
Wishmaster Beats and we can chop it up with him real quick.
We got some other people in there.
Yo.
Wish.
I'm in that Facebook group y'all have.
Yo,
What's up, bro? You might need to mute that YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a couple people in there. But
My guy, Wishmaster.
I can hear you. I can't hear him. I just muted the YouTube.
you
Okay.
can't hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you now.
Alright, for sure. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? So I mean, yeah, go ahead and talk about, just a little backstory and how you got into how you got locked in with Legion Beats, selling beats, just the whole process real quick.
So I'm actually one of the originators of selling beats online. Yeah, I started back in there. So I used to do that, and then I got in the industry. So I've worked with a lot of big artists in the industry, Grammy nominated, I always I hate saying it, but and then about 3 years ago, I got back into selling beats online, and it was a totally different thing. It wasn't just posting on like SoundClick and then just get a bunch of sales, and it was like Facebook ads and YouTube ads and email marketing, which I was like, I'm not doing all that. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Not that I didn't want to do it, it's just I didn't understand it. So anyway, so I was trying it for a little bit. I got on BeatStars and was doing that for a minute, and then I actually got on. I was talking to a really big marketer, and he's like, "Hey, whatever you're doing right now, you need to stop and listen to these guys." And I'm just like, "What?" And he sent me a link to Gabe and AD. He's like, just don't do anything. Just get with these guys. I'm like, all right, man. And I trusted this dude because he's worked with like Gary V or Jerry, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about? That big, what is that big guy Gabe? Gary V?
Yeah, Gary V.
Hey, Gary V, okay. It's like people like that, and Billie Jean and all these big people. So I'm like, all right, he's not even telling me to talk to them or work with them. He's like, work with these guys. So I jumped on it, and I watched the free webinar they did, and I think I joined within 30 minutes, and I was like, this is it. Like, you could just tell from what they were saying that it's actually like, this actually makes sense. It's not just, hey, come check out my beats. I'm a producer, and then hope for a sale, because typically 1 to 3% are going to buy when they hit your website. That's just how it is. But you have to retarget those people, and retargeting means you need to build something like email marketing and ads and all kinds of things. So that's why I jumped in it, and then ever since I've done multi 6 figures using this, and I never got my plaque though, Gabe. But we'll talk about that later.
I know.
But,
It's in the mail. They're expensive. We're working on it though.
I got the first plaque. But yeah, man, long story short, that's how I got into it. And I could talk as an industry producer and a producer who sells beats online, so I know both sides of that.
So let me ask you this, because I see a lot of times in the comments, like for producers who probably just uneducated and just don't know, they'll say, "Oh, if I sell a pack of beats for like $20, that means if I try to sell a beat to Kevin Gates or Kendrick Lamar, they're not gonna buy it." What's the difference between the two? Does you selling these beat packs or the system you use affect what you do in the industry?
You talking to me or him?
Oh, you.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I'm gonna say to that, and this is what I tell everybody. The only reason I have big placements and did all the things I did is because I sold beats online. Because that's how I got known. You putting all these beats out there. How do you think you get known in the industry? Oh, who did that beat? Oh man, I use Wishmaster Beats, or I use Legion Beats, or I use Anno Domination, or Big Shot Beats, and then it starts getting around, and then that's how because you don't know who your beats are going to, but they're going all over the place, right? And then you don't know one of those artists that's the next little baby, or whoever the baby, they might be getting their beats online, and then all of a sudden they hit you up one day like, hey, I just got a deal, bro. I made a hit to this. This is why I got signed, and then all of a sudden now you have that relationship. That to me goes a lot further than just sitting there trying to chase placements. Like, yeah, you could do that, but it's a tougher road, and you're gonna have to know. It's about who you know. It's about being in the right place at the right time. But when you get your beats out there enough, people are gonna start coming to you. And that's the only reason I even got placements or any of my beats out there is because of selling beats online. So, and people used to make fun of me too. They're like, "Oh, bro, you selling beats for $24 and no one's gonna take you seriously. You're just an online producer." My biggest mistake in my career was stop selling beats online just to do that because I was working in the industry. I'm like, damn, I missed that hustle. I missed that grind and all the fans that hit you up on a daily basis.
No, that's the same for me, by the way. Like, so many of my big opportunities as far as industry stuff happened after I built that online business, because then it's like you have your brand, you have that foundation, people start coming to you. And like I mentioned before, like I've gotten the opportunity now to work with a lot of producers who have these big placements, who have Grammys, because they want to see, hey, how can I actually make money doing this? You know what I mean? And by the way, I got to shout out, we got Anno Domini, I see in the chat, that's my business partner, and really the guy who I first saw do everything that I do with funnels, all this kind of stuff. I saw him do it first. That was the inspiration, and saw what was possible. And that's what helped me to do it as well. And that's another thing for me that's so important, is I just want to show it's possible, that the ceiling is a lot higher than I think a lot of people think. It is possible to have a $50,000 day or $200,000 week or $10,000 in 10 minutes. Like just the concept that that's possible, to me, shifts what's possible for you once you realize that. So shout out to Anno Domini, and also just, for you guys watching, hopefully that makes a difference for you too. I know it made a big difference for me.
So let's get into like, I don't want to give all the gems away, but let's like get into like some tools, just like some websites or tools or third party stuff. Like, what are some tools and stuff that y'all are using? Like first, like an email provider, or just like for an example.
I mean, God, there's so much. Let me say this. I like to me, what's more important, and we can get into the tactics, right? But what's more important than the tactics is understanding the strategies, the principles behind the tactics. So to me, I want to understand, like what we talked about earlier, this concept of putting together an offer. I want to understand the importance of owning my traffic. I want to understand, the idea that you only have one call to action at each step, meaning you really walk people through and make whatever your process is really simple for people to understand. Because here's the thing, once you understand those things, then as technology evolves, as new platforms emerge, as the marketplace evolves, I can continue to be successful because I know why those tactics work. So to me, that's super important. Like, don't get so hung up on like, okay, well, step one is this exact thing. Step two, like, yes, learn those things and start with those things that are working, but understand why those things are working. That's what we really try to teach, for the MIDI Money community. So that's what I'll say first off, is know the principles behind it. Then you can get into all the little tactics. But I'll just say one thing that's been huge for me getting into tactics, and talking about owning your traffic, is SMS. Like, text messages have been crazy. Email, I love email. If anybody says email is dead, they don't know what they're talking about. But our open rates on text messages is over 90%. So that basically means we've got this list now. I have to see what it is. I think on the Legion side, it's 30 or 40,000. I think we've actually got even more on the MIDI Money side, which means I can send out a message today, and those, whatever it is, 50,000 phones are going to buzz and my message is going to pop up. Like, that is super, super powerful. Email is great, you know what I mean? But it's going to be a little bit lower on the open rates. So that's been one of my big hacks right now, is just using text messaging. It's been huge, big one for me.
Wishmaster, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as him, SMS, email. I'd say even people that, like, you guys don't have funnels yet, like, even just to set up like a free MailChimp or a Weber account, I think you get up to like 1,000 people. You could go like on your BeatStars and give like free beats away. And I don't mean free beats like without tags. You keep your tags all over that shit and just say, download anything, kind of try before you buy. And then you could set up that conversation with an email, throw them a discount, and then that's retargeting. You're just not hitting somebody that just hit your site and they're leaving. You're actually starting something where you can get that sale. I treat it like the studio. Like, when you go in a studio, when I'm working with somebody, I don't just sit there and give them beats and don't talk to them and go watch a movie or something. I actually have a conversation, tell them my story, say, hey, this is what I do. This is, I made this beat for you. It has this kind of special. Then he's like, oh, that's cool. And then they want to build with you, and you end up getting more placements or getting more beats on that album. And I kind of treat my email like that too. Tell them your story. I mean, there's a whole lot to it, but yeah, definitely I would start with just free email services.
So I just want to ask you a question. Let's say we have an artist who's not really like like, okay, this is my price for this or whatever you're selling, and they're kind of like on the edge, like 50-50, like I rock with it, but at the same time I don't rock with it. Like, what's your strategy as far as trying to get them to, you know what I'm saying, follow through with it? Let's say if it's like in the DMs or something.
So my bad, you're talking about like an artist who's maybe not sure if they want to buy or not. Like, how do you push them over the edge? That type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's not really about convincing. It's more about setting up the funnel in a way that they're going to come to me and those sales are going to come in. Like that $10,000 in 10 minutes or any of these things. It wasn't from me like trying to convince anybody, right? It was having that system in place. It was, owning the traffic in the first place so when I sent out that text message, that email blast, like they were already excited about it, right? So that to me is like the big thing is like, how can you do that? And some of the ways to set that up is, for one thing, make sure that you're telling your story and telling the story behind that offer, right? Whether if that is a beat pack or a sale or whatever it is, what's the reason behind it? If you give a story to it, like shout out Anno Domini, he just had his second child, his second baby boy. Congratulations to him. And he did a beat pack around it, like, hey, I'm having a baby. So to celebrate, I need to pay for diapers. We're gonna do a beat pack launch, right? And it just gives it more depth. It gives it more value. It makes people feel like they're a part of something. So that's one thing, is telling your story and telling the story behind that particular product is going to make people actually want to buy that thing more.
Also why he can't be here, because he's popping up babies like nonstop. So yeah, I was gonna say, just on top of that, like if someone did hit me up, I think honesty goes a long way. Like you don't have to be disrespectful to be honest, right? You can say, hey man, like maybe work on your mix a little bit better, or maybe try to stay on beat, or whatever. It could be any type of advice. And then sometimes that honesty is gonna go even more. They're like, you know what, I do want to work with you because you actually were honest with me. You weren't just like, oh, that's fire. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my beats are gonna help you. You need better beats. They sometimes they'll see right through that. If someone goes, oh, you just need better beats, man, go buy my shit. Then they're like, oh, I don't. Yeah, that's bullshit. So I'm sorry if I'm swearing. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear.
Oh no, you straight. One thing I like that you said, Gabe, was the story behind it. I feel like that's another thing. Like producers, we just have a product and we just throw it out there. But honestly, when you think of it, when you have a product and you just throw it out there, it's like you don't know where to start it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have all these different people, different lanes you could go, and it's like when you clear it up, the story, and I don't know the word for like the motto or just like the, you know what I'm saying, like what is this product for? And when you think of that and like write that down, and then you look, okay, I had a product that fits this person, this type of person, these type of people, who can it's so much clearer, you know what I'm saying? It's way easier. Then it's like, oh, okay, I need to get with these guys. I need to put my face in front of these guys over here. So that's one thing I feel like a lot of producers do be missing. That right there, what you had just said.
For sure. Shout out Dylan. We got the CEO in the building.
Dylan, what's up, bro? Everybody be asking me where Dylan at. I be like, he be in Dubai playing golf.
Well, he's out counting his money. He's just, he's just like counting Bitcoins, just like.
No cap.
Speaking of Bitcoin, is killing it right now.
I know there was another dude supposed to add. Is his name Ali Rubbery? If you know.
Yes, Temper Beats, Ali.
Boom, yeah. So I'm gonna add him in here real quick. I was just making sure. Yo, what's up, bro? We can't hear you.
Yeah, Temper is somebody who. Well, I'm sure tell a story. Oh,
yo, what's up?
Yo, man, how you doing?
Chilling. So yeah, go ahead and you know what I'm saying, just same thing. Break down your backstory, how you got started into it, how you met Gabe, and how it's working out for you.
For sure, man. So yeah, to be honest, mine's kind of like our story at Temper is actually completely different to Wishes. I feel like our story is actually going to resonate with a lot of producers out there. Of like when we started, we actually didn't. To be honest, we started about, I'd say, 4 or 5 years ago now, and I saw Gabe's course. I think it was November 2019. Before that, we were literally just doing, the old traditional route of trying to make it as a producer online, building a YouTube channel, uploading, scheduled beats every single week, and kind of just waiting for it to happen, to be honest. And I feel like, a lot of producers nowadays are in a similar sort of situation to that. They kind of don't really know how to elevate to that next step. And I didn't really know I was in that sort of like kind of phase of thinking like that until I saw Gabe's ad, and I was like, man, what is this shit? Like, I need to check this out. So I checked it out, like Wish said, the free training. And I just remember thinking on the day, man, like as soon as I finished watching that, I messaged my my business partner. I was like, bro, you fucking need to watch this shit. Like, this is absolute gold. And then, yeah, he watched it. We were both down to do it. And it just made so much sense of what he was actually applying, different to how we're doing it, which is obviously just uploading it to YouTube and kind of just waiting for a sale and whatever. And then we started the whole process of like funnels, you know, building actual like digital assets in terms of building the email list, SMS list, learn how to actually really sell to artists without, like Gabe said, without really having to, you know, properly try and convince them. You know, you've built that much trust with them, they actually want to come to you and just buy from you straight away, as opposed to you trying to like push that sale of like, oh, you know, I'll give you a 20% discount. Like, they love you that much because you've provided that much value to them. You know, they're more than happy to buy from you going forward. And then, yeah, ever since then, like, we've gone on to do multiple launches. One of which is the one Gabe mentioned earlier, which is still crazy to me now, even thinking about it. But yeah, we started a launch the other day. I think it was, the 21st of October. We did like an early access sort of list that we launched to. And then, yeah, we did $4,000 in the first 10 minutes of that, and $10,000 in the first 24 hours. So it's crazy.
4,000 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, man.
10K in a day.
Yeah,
and Temper, it's dope too because he's got a little different background where it's not like Wish where he's Grammy nominated and has all these, you know, plaques and all that other cool stuff. Like, you know, no disrespect to Wish, obviously. But, you know, it just shows that, like, this works whether if you're starting, you know, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. And you can see Temper got his MIDI Money Award right there sitting on the desk. Sorry, Wish, once again, yours is on the way. My bad, bro.
That's the 10K one. I need to apply for the 100K.
Oh, yeah. Because you're in there. We've got Temper, Wish, Big Shot. I know Flip Tunes, my best friend Jacob.
Shout out to Jacob. That's the bro.
Yeah, Jacob. He's another person who came up through our course. Legacy Beats. We got a few more that have hit that 100K mark.
So let me ask y'all this. I know when I was because I was asking producers like in my Patreon, I sent that a text like, what's some questions you want me to ask? And I did see a couple responses that was the same, and it was just saying like, do you need like a large amount of money to use this system starting out?
No, I mean, really, this is the system. This is how you make money. You know what I mean? So it's like how the whole idea is to actually start getting leads and then converting those leads into customers. And this is the best process to do it with. And so, hey, if you've got a boatload of money to start with and you can dump a bunch of money in ads, you'll probably be able to grow that list faster and get more sales faster, but you don't need to do that to start. Like you can start by working on your organic traffic. You can do it by, you know, going on to Instagram. And, you know, one of my favorite ways for Instagram is, I'll give you a quick outline for how to get traffic on Instagram. So first thing is just, you know, find other producers who are selling beats online, assuming you are selling beats online. If you're selling packs and kits and loops or something else, find those people. And you can kind of assume pretty much the people following those people are most likely in the market to buy that thing, right? But then you want to find the most engaged of those, right? So find the people who are actually liking and commenting on the most recent pictures and videos. Then go over to those people's accounts and go ahead and like some of their pictures, comment, follow them, you know what I mean? Give them some value, right? And do maybe, let's just say 100 of those a day. We're going in, you're following somebody, you're liking, commenting, whatever, right? Out of those 100, let's say maybe 30 of them are going to be like, oh, who just did all this? They're going to go over to your profile, right? And hopefully they're going to see, oh, this looks pretty cool. They're going to follow you back. And then for the ones who follow you back, go ahead and send them a message. And the way that I like to send a message, this is a trick I got from my buddy Rick Barker, is don't just text like, hey, thanks for the follow, looking forward to blah, 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 right? Send them a voice memo, or even better, a video if you want. Like if you're, you know, a little uncomfortable on the video, you can send the voice memo, but say their name. Just be like, hey, what's up, TB? Super excited to connect to you here. Let me know if you're working on any projects. I'd love to work with you, right? And now all of a sudden they're like, damn, this guy actually said my name. This is personal, right? And then he's going to hit you back. And then you'd be like, cool, here's a link to some free beats. Let's get started right now. Bam, you send them to your funnel, which has been carefully crafted using the principles and strategies we already talked about. And now you've got a customer. You don't have to convince them of anything. You just got that process set up. And now you've kind of brought them in order to do that. And that costs $0. You know, that's just putting that time in to actually make that traffic happen.
Bro, this man just gave y'all a whole playbook. Like, I'm talking about like Madden NFL playbook, like step by step, bro. Y'all tripping if y'all don't take advantage of that. Bro, what type of cameras y'all got, bro? I was finna text you. I was finna be like, bro, you got $1 million camera. And then I see Big Shot Beats come up on here with this
Big
cinematic
Shot
camera, bro.
You got the best setup, putting us all to shame.
What's up, Big Shot?
So yeah, Big Shot's another person come up through our community. Yeah, I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, break down your backstory, what it's like.
Cool. So yeah, I'm tuning in from Toronto, Canada. Billy here from Big Shot Beats. And yeah, like a lot of people, you know, I started my journey by chasing the majors. Didn't end up getting, you know, some results with that. Although, you know, I got in the studio with a lot of big artists like, you know, Jada Kiss, Waka Flocka, Gunplay, and a lot of artists. And then I decided to turn to the internet, use the power of the internet to find some upcoming artists like myself to you know, make some music and everything. And that's how BigShotBeats.net was created. But I was always looking for different ways to sell my beats online, right? And I think I started back in the day when like SoundClick was popping, and I was seeing the name, like some of the big names online and everything. And then I remember one time I saw this guy. What was his name again? Anyways, he was using funnels to sell his beats and everything. So I was like, man, I'm gonna try different ways to, you know, approach the marketings for my beat. Anyways, long story short, I saw Gabe. I remember I saw an ad from Gabe, and he's like, man, we made it, you know, we made $1 million selling beats and all that. I got my new studio and everything. And I was like, oh, this is the guy that I've seen a couple of years back too. So it's like, you know, our journey kind of like was, you know, we were crossing each other online, but we never kind of, you know, personally met. And I remember I was on a call in a membership for producers. I saw Gabe come in, and he was sharing his experience with funnels and all that. And I'm like, yo, this is my world, because I actually want to hit that milestone as well. You know, hitting the milli, selling beats online and all that. And then, you know, he was showing us the possibility. Watched one of his webinars. I was sold just by hearing that he was doing funnels anyways, came inside of the community, and you know, it's been history ever since, man. We running it.
Yeah, that's dope. So you said webinar, and let's go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, talk about this webinar. I see a lot of people, they like, okay, we get it. Yeah, Rich, how do I get on the same type of time? So okay, go ahead and talk about this webinar, this training that you have available for us here.
Yeah, for sure. So the link is in the description of the video. It's midimoney.com/producergrind. We actually haven't done one of these webinars in months. It's been a long time, so it's going to be a little bit updated. It's going to be something a little bit new if you haven't seen it before, or sorry, even if you have before, you're going to want to show up. And if you haven't, definitely. And basically what we're going to do is get into a lot of the stuff we've been talking about here, but you know, you might have noticed maybe I talk a little bit fast. I'm trying to pack a lot in. So that'll give me a little chance to you know, just kind of get a little deeper onto some of these topics that you can see exactly how to apply them. I'll share my screen so you can see what does this page 1 look like? What does this page 2 look like? You know, that whole thing, and really see it broken down so that you can understand how to apply it to your business. Again, whether if you're selling beats or you're selling packs or kits or honestly anything, it's these fundamentals of marketing and business that we're teaching that really you can apply to anything. And by the way, at the end of that, it'll probably be like 2 hours plus, because, you know, when I get going of value of stuff that you can apply right away. Then we're going to pitch you on something. I'm just going to tell you that up front. There's going to be an opportunity where if you want to join our community, if you want to get things like weekly live coaching from Billy and Wish, if you want to get, you know, access to our course, to our community, if you want to get access to, you know, our exact templates for all of our funnels, you want to access to our offer library, which is where you can take a bunch of products from other producers that have put them in there for this purpose, to where now you can include them in your offer and create a true offer really quickly. all this stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There's going to be an opportunity to do that. And in fact, ever since we started in 2019, we've really only had basically one price that we've sold it at for the most part. We've put together an offer that's actually less than we've ever made that offer available before. So if you've ever thought about it, you're thinking about it, trust me, this is the one to show up to. I don't know if we're going to do it like this ever again. But it's just kind of a special, to me, it's a big thing because the first time I was on Producer Grind, it changed my life. Like that was the thing that really kind of, had a lot more people be aware of what we were doing. And so I just love the Producer Grind community. Shout out to Dylan for making it happen. And so we wanted to do something special. So, and by the way, like we practice what we preach, right? We're talking about what are these principles and strategies? Well, how can we give a ton of value first? Like here's some free beats, and how can we give so much value that they're like, damn, these beats were dope. What's the next thing? And they're going to want to buy that next thing. And then we give so much value on that. Like, damn, they didn't just get beats. They got this training and maybe mixing and mastering and all these different things that now when I offer that next offer, they're like, yeah, of course I want to buy that next thing, right? It's the exact same process as what we do over at MIDI Money as well. Like we're very transparent about how we do it. And just not to go too deep down this other road, but here's the thing, like we practice what we preach. I'll be very nervous about following somebody who doesn't, right? If somebody says no free beats, they either don't understand some basic fundamentals of marketing or basically they're lying, right? Especially if that same person is saying, hey, sign up for my free training, which is using that exact same principle and strategy, right? Because basically all that is saying, hey, I'm going to give you some value first, right? And then I'm going to hopefully give you enough value that you're going to want to buy this thing. And so if that same person is also saying no free beats, it's very confusing because they're basically using one business model and telling you not to use that business model. So I'd just be worried about that type of thing.
Yeah, facts.
I had to sneak it in there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Throw the shots a little bit, y'all. This is PG, bro. Y'all know, y'all see me on here. Y'all know we don't sugarcoat, I ain't even gonna get into it. He just said it exactly well put. I ain't even gonna get into it. But yeah, most definitely, y'all. I just put the webinar in the chat for y'all. Y'all make sure y'all sign up for that free webinar, free gems. You know what I'm saying? Free gems, free webinar. It's real dope. I actually remember participating in one of these like almost 2 years ago. It's probably like a year and like 9 months ago. So yeah, most definitely informational. But with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm drop the Zoom link in here for y'all so y'all can come up in here. We're gonna add a couple guys in here so y'all can ask a couple questions. I'm gonna add y'all one at a time, so just make sure y'all have your mic ready, your camera on. You don't have to have your camera on, but at least have your mic ready. Make sure the YouTube's not playing in the background or your speakers is not on. You have your headphones in, and just have y'all question. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Zoom link in here for y'all real quick. We're just gonna let some people join.
And by the way, if that statement, if anybody feels like if they're offended by that, or that's I'm happy to talk about it. We could do it on Producer Grind. We could do it wherever. I'm not I just think it's important to have those conversations. So that's
bro. Call it for what it is, bro. Like that's one of the main things. Like I said, I don't have no problem. Somebody was to come up with a whole new business model right now, totally opposite from what this is, and it worked for him. And he's presenting an opportunity where it works for others. That's cool or whatever. But I do see a lot of guys like talking shit, saying, yeah, don't do this and that and that. And your opinion is your opinion. But it's like, it's hypocritical, like, to be like, oh, yeah, don't do this, don't do that. But you're using the same model. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, like, nah. It's cool, bro. Let me go ahead and answer.
This might be a whole nother, we might have to have a whole nother, conversation,
Yeah, man. But let me go ahead and add some. I'm dropping the link in here, so y'all go ahead and come up in here. Y'all can ask Gabe questions, Wishmaster. What's Ali Rube? What's the producer name again? I forgot, my bad.
Temper. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, Tim and Billy. So y'all could come up in here and ask some questions. Like I said, just make sure y'all have your mic ready and y'all question ready. Don't be shy either, man. You know what I'm saying? Just ask questions. Have like a casual conversation with people. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what cameras y'all got. I gotta cop them joints though. I just got a Sony A7C, but I'm kind of feeling that one that Billy got right there, man. That joint hard.
Billy's got the best.
I got a Sony too. Mine's a 5100. I just use that for my webcam. But yeah,
feel.
I got a sick camera. I didn't use it for this interview because I wasn't the main person. So I'm like, you're getting this camera now.
I feel you, man. Sometimes the webcam just does the job, man. There you go. So we got Prince Henry in here. What's up, bro? Your mic's off, but You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and turn it on real quick.
It was good.
What's up,
Good,
man?
man.
Yeah, I had a quick question. I was talking with Wish in the chat. He responded about the organic growth. Before the organic growth of getting people in. And so I just started my funnel roughly last week. And so I've been doing like Facebook ads right now. And I've been getting a lot of opt-ins, but I haven't been getting a lot of purchases. I know the opt-ins is still good because I can retarget later. But I just want to know like what's some tips on, I don't know, to maybe I'm not targeting the right people or maybe just take more time. 'Cause like I said, I've only been running that Facebook ad for like roughly 3 days.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give everybody some news right now. So I talked to Facebook marketing. Their algorithms are all screwed up right now. So they're in phase 2 right now. They're going to phase 3 in January, and that's when it's going to actually be better. They said retargeting is only at 30% right now, and they're saying as far as leads, you're only going to get good leads if you're using lookalike audience. They said list. If you have email list, that's when you're going to get like super high quality. Like if someone actually, well, you could do what's the other one, Billy, that you're talking about? You could do target based or whatever it's called. But anyways, when you're getting your leads, it's not at 100% like it used to be. So I just want to tell everybody that they said in January this is going to be like, they're pretty much saying instead of them trying to work with Apple, they're going to go around Apple. So I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but the whole iOS update and everything. But so they're pretty much saying get as many leads as you can for right now, and then use those lists to try to actually retarget people. Are you retargeting right now, Prince?
No, I'm not retargeting right now. I did the lookalike audience with like, I had like maybe 20 people from like BeatStars. I downloaded the list or whatever, and I just put it into Facebook. And so that's what I'm using right now.
Yeah, you probably want to get that to a little bit higher number, and then it's going to start getting better.
What'd you say is good? Right, for like 100 or something? Or
yeah, I'd say, some people say 300. I say 100 is good enough. I started with 100 when I created my first lookalike, and it worked pretty well. But are you doing email marketing with your leads too? Like when people opt in, do you have a nice like email chain talking to them, telling your story?
Yeah, I have it on Aweber and all that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I'm gonna say about Facebook is it's not 100% right now. So don't feel like it's you at all. It's happening to me. It's happening to some of these guys too. But good news is in January, which I know people don't want to hear, well, that's 2 months. But in January, they said it's going to be way better conversion rates and everything. So I'm excited about that because it's been kind of crappy. So
There's something I'd add on top of that as well, man. Even before, I don't know if you've already done this, just to confirm, obviously, but even before you start Facebook ads, I would make sure you validate your funnel through organic traffic and just make sure all the metrics are converting how they should be, like your conversion rate, your opt-in rate on your opt-in page, just basic metrics that you'll need to kind of make sure are right. And then once you've got them right, say for example your conversion rate's around that 3% mark, which is great, then start funneling in Facebook ads and then see how that converts. Because I see a lot of people that try and do it and they don't get it right the first time because they don't validate the funnel. They go straight for Facebook ads and then they question why it's not working. And is it Facebook? Is it, what is it? But if you actually validate that funnel at the start with organic traffic through various ways, Gabe teaches, it's a great kind of foundation to build on and then, scale up with Facebook ads, YouTube ads and whatnot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Prince, use your BeatStars people and sell it to them first.
Yeah.
Keep building that up because that's what I didn't run ads for a while. I never had luck with ads. So I just used organic traffic, people on Instagram, Facebook. I would just throw them, get them through my funnel, and that's how I knew. And then you could ask them questions. If they don't buy by the end of it, you just ask hey, did I do something wrong? Did I piss you off? It's okay to be forward with people because you don't want to have wasted people on your list or that you're collecting that aren't ever going to buy from you, right? So you want to get them off there. So it's good to ask questions and kind of push them a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Josiah said in the chat, he said, just launched my first funnel this month. Do you think Facebook ads is a waste until January?
I wouldn't say it's a waste. I'm just giving you guys the information that your percentages are not going to be as well and your price is going to be a little higher. So that's just how it is right now. But I wouldn't say waste. I still run them. You could try YouTube. YouTube works well too. But you just have to know what you're doing too. Just don't throw money at something and then think it's going to all of a sudden you have to really dive down, take a course like Gabe's where they're going to show you how to actually target people that are more likely to buy beats than someone that, that's just saying, hey, this is how you target someone that wants to buy hair products. Like, that's what I did. My first ad was like to the whole world, and like all these 65-year-old ladies were clicking on my ads, and I'm like, I thought I was winning because I'm like, oh, I got all these people clicking. And I looked at it, I'm like, I got old ladies clicking on my shit because I never targeted the right people. And that's what it's about. So I wouldn't say it's a waste, but you just can't, you don't just jump into it expecting like, oh, this is just going to work. And don't blame yourself if it doesn't. That's what a lot of people do. Like, man, I must suck, or my funnel's not working. This is not for me. It's not, don't blame it on it because of the ads. Sometimes it's just to do with the actual people coming through.
Yeah, for sure. And also it's like, a couple things. One is it's another reason why it's so important to build your own list to own that traffic. So if you are running those ads or you're doing organic, make sure you're sending them somewhere where you're getting that, name, email, and or phone number. Because for one thing, now the best retargeting in the world is actually texting them or emailing them, right? That works every time because again, you own that traffic. But also you can now upload that, those contacts back up to Facebook and say, hey, I want to target these people. And that's going to be a lot more accurate than the pixel tracking, meaning the tracking from like, okay, I just hit this page that used to work better. That's not working as well these days. So I wouldn't say it's, don't use it. Just know it's a little bit harder than it used to be. And also just something to keep in mind too is we're getting into Black Friday, into the holiday seasons. And so it's supply and demand. And so there's going to be so many more people running ads for the next couple months anyways, including me. I'm still going to do it, but just know it's going to be harder to get the same return on ad spend for the next couple of months as it will be, early next year when there's a little bit less competition. So again, it doesn't mean don't do it. It's just be aware of, hey, it's going to be a little more expensive for the next couple months.
And one thing I want to add to that too is you can use this strategy as well. It's like an overview that I'm going to give you is you can lead with value and you can run video view ads that are going to help you build audiences of people that watch, say, 50% or 75% of your videos, and you can retarget those people with an offer that you have with your beats, right? So what you can do when you run video views to a beat that you're making, right? Like you're showing, how you constructed the beat and everything, and you can say, is it fire, or if it's not good or whatever, and then the people that engage with that, you can start a conversation with them as well, and then that's going to lead them into either buying the beat that you just showed them, and then you can build an audience like that as you're moving forward, and that's going to serve you for when you come back in January and go a little harder when things kind of settle down and when Facebook is fixing their machine. Because right now they breaking the machine, but one of the ways to retarget that's fairly effective is having audiences of people that viewed your videos, and then you can engage back with them too. That's pretty cool.
Man, y'all don't realize, like, y'all know how hard it was to get information like this a couple years ago, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the tools people have. The tools we have in the producer community now is like way better than what we had before. But Wally KLM, I see you up in here, bro. Go ahead and ask the question that you had to ask. I just asked to unmute you if you are still in here. Yo, I don't know if he's on. I don't know if he's still in here. Hold on. Yo, Wallet, you still in here, bro? Yeah, I don't know if you're still in here, man. You just got that one person that joined the Zoom just to chill. But I'm gonna put the Zoom link in here. Oh no, he left. I'm gonna put the Zoom link in here for y'all. Like I said, y'all, this is your opportunity to really ask y'all a question directly, with the source. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, don't.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so for with the email opt-in, once I got my emails and stuff, as for the nurturing process of nurturing them into the sale, so I can make a campaign for about for a week or up to 2 weeks. How long should you say the nurturing process should last? How long should I keep sending them emails?
Forever.
Trying to build a relationship forever. And then
literally,
that's the answer.
Is it so? There's no point of all right, this person's never gonna buy, and I assume that's the clearing process.
That's why it's hard to actually explain, but that's why it's all in the course. It's like you want to push in the beginning for whatever you're selling, but then after that you want to nurture them because you don't stop there. You don't stop. You don't just sell one thing. You just keep going. And I mean, there's all kinds of it gets crazy, but yeah, that's it. You want to have them forever. because you might turn a $25 beat customer into a $1,000 beat customer. That's what we all are good at doing.
Okay. So what are you saying for this forever? I guess I don't know. What would you be saying? So like, you know, after you nurtured them for like the first 2 weeks, like a year later, like what are you still talking to them about?
Like Gabe said, you want to solve their problem. So how are you going to solve their problem if they're an artist? What is your whatever you're selling in your offer going to help them do to make their life better or career better?
Yeah,
that's what you wanted to say.
Yeah, okay. And it's even on top of that, man. Like I'm quite often sending emails, just having a general conversation with them, because it's important to have that kind of obviously that relationship with them, building the relationship up with them by, you know, essentially being their friend. Like if you're their friend, they're going to trust you more, whatever. So I'm always asking, like, you know, you got any new music out? Just sending a broadcast out. Obviously, you know, they'll send it over. We'll give some feedback, providing value that way. But yeah, like Wish said, just think of all the ways that you can provide value to an artist. Like, you know, do they need mix and mastering? Okay, you know, I've got this service. Or do you need help marketing? Oh, what are you struggling with? Facebook ads. Oh, okay, watch this video. I really recommend it. Just stuff like that. You've just got to think of all the different angles. Just think in their shoes of what they actually need as an independent artist to become, you know, a successful musician, essentially, other than just
getting people to respond is probably the hardest thing to do. So I would, here's a gem. Ask them, send them their best song they've ever done.
Yeah,
that's it. Ask them what their best song is and have them send it to you, and then tell them what you feel. And there you go. You start a conversation.
This is random, but one thing I just thought about that I wanted to say is it just doesn't have to be beats either, y'all. Like this system that you use is the same exact system we use to sell kits. It could be the same exact system you use to sell an event, to sell your engineering services, collab services. Like you could take this system and use it for anything that you're selling. It doesn't just have to be beats. And I can say for us, it's been very effective. So I just wanted to clear that up. But we got Marcus in here. Marcus, what's up, bro? You muted right now. You can unmute yourself real quick and go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, what's good, fellas? I just wanted to say I appreciate all y'all. Y'all are giving some real good information. I'm a producer who I just started, you know, a few months ago. I'm one of the ones who you were saying, like, I'll upload a YouTube video and then have them go straight to the beat store. So if I'm interested in building a funnel, like what would you say is like the first step, or what would be the first thing that you would have me focus on?
Gabe, I feel like you're the master.
Sorry, I'm being honest. I got a message on my phone. I missed. If you say it again, though, I'll answer it.
He's saying, so he's one of the YouTube producer guys. So he sends people to a beat store or his beats, you know, through YouTube. He's saying, what would be the first step for him to actually get a funnel going? What should he do?
Yeah, I mean, so first thing is show up to our training on Thursday, because we're gonna walk you through all the steps. But yeah, I mean, really the very first step I would say is, like, right now I'm guessing your process is something like, in the description of that video there's a link to your beat store. So the first thing I would do is, instead of that link going to your beat store, have it go to an opt-in page. And an opt-in page is the page where you're getting that data. You're exchanging their name, email, and or phone number for something, right? Usually free beats works well. It could be some information. It could be whatever you want. That would be the very first step, right? Because now you're owning your traffic, which we talked about. You're creating a page there that has one call to action, which we talked about. So they'll actually take that action. And then from there, now, you know, there's this whole system that we've started to touch on, and we'll touch more about on Thursday, of now you tell your story, you develop that relationship, you nurture that relationship through email, and text message. You show them the offer and the story behind that offer. You tell them your story so you connect with them. Then once they have that first offer, then you give them those order form bumps, those OTOs, those upsells, those different things that are going to create more value for them and ultimately create more money for you. So there's a lot of steps, but I'd say number one is just swap out that link that goes to your beat store and have it go to an opt-in page, so you can start collecting those names, emails, and or phone numbers.
And Marcus, you actually have the upper hand in this because you already have audience and it's already driven towards beats, so you would kill this.
Definitely. Yeah, appreciate it.
Darius, I muted you, but I just asked to unmute you, so you go ahead and ask your question. You just gotta unmute yourself, bro. Also, y'all, if y'all don't want to join the Zoom and y'all got a question, y'all could also type it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. But yeah, Darius, I just asked to unmute you. I don't know if you yeah, I don't know what you got going on. Now, for producers who can't make the webinar Thursday, what should they do?
Just register for it, because then once you're registered on it, then now you're on our list. We can communicate. I can nurture that relationship, and I can help steer you towards if we end up doing a replay, or at least, you know, more resources and stuff. So either way, I'd say go ahead and just start there, and that way we can start talking, and then yeah, build the relationship. If you guys have questions, you can ask us. That's going to be kind of the best place to go ask that question.
I was gonna say this is for producers that actually want to do this for a living too. Like this is, or they want to make money off beats. It's not, you know, you have to work. It's not, you know, I see too many people that want to push button thing. It's like, oh, I push a button, it's just gonna happen for me. This is for somebody that's willing to do the work, but the payoff is just incredible. So.
Fact. Since you on that, bro, let's go ahead and like talk about that. Like, I don't know. I was talking to JB. He's he's one of the other producer grind members that be doing interviews with me. We was talking about like just life being a microwave. Like, it's just everything so microwave. You know, if you want some new teeth, you can just go buy some new teeth. If you want, you know what I'm saying, you want to lose, you don't feel like working out for 6 months, so you just want to go get surgery and lose all the weight. Like everything's just like microwavable. And I feel like producers they're looking for this crazy secret, like this crazy. Like, oh, I know this is a secret website he using to get $10,000 in a day or something like that. It's not. Illmind said it the best, man. Focus. What did he say? He said focus more on small tasks and less on results. You know what I'm saying? Do the same shit every day. You're going to start seeing results soon. You might not see it that next day or that week later, but you might see it 2 weeks in. And another thing is always evaluate what you're doing. Like, if you're doing something, like how I look at it is when I drop a YouTube video, I'll drop a video and I look at the analytics and I see, okay, they watched this video more than they did yesterday, so I must have did something different in this video that I did yesterday, so I need to keep doing that. Or if I change something in my thumbnail, I'm looking at my thumbnail, I'm like, okay, I had too much, this thumbnail was a little too busy and I'm seeing that it had a less click rate, so I need to go back to another thumbnail and look and see which was the best one, what had the better click rate, and go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always got to evaluate what you're doing too. So yeah,
yeah, if you have the passion for it, you're gonna want to do it. And I remember I hit up Gabe and AD when I first started. I'm like, you guys, like, what's wrong with me? I like marketing more than I like making beats right now. Like, what is that? Like, there's something wrong here, you know?
Yes.
And he's like, dude, you don't understand. Like, it's fun, and it really is fun. This stuff is fun. Like, it's just as fun as making beats. You know what I mean? But now you're learning a life lesson that you could sell anything, like you said. Like, I think Gabe and Billy sell like beard grooming tips and stuff like that. I think they're fun. But you literally, it's like a life lesson that you can take with anything you do. Like, whether you sell beats or not, like, you can do this. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
No, it's true. It's true. It's not easy. You know, it's going to take work, and it is a skill that's going to serve you everywhere for the rest of your life, whether if it is for selling beats or for anything else. I mean, I started learning this stuff because I wanted to learn how to sell beats, but now it's created so many opportunities for me that I never would have imagined for myself, of being able to speak at conferences, being able to travel, being able to meet up with cool people, being able to be on Producer Grind, like all these things that I would have never thought, you know, would be possible. It's because I learned this process. I learned the principles and the strategies behind why these things work, and it applies to literally everything. Like, it doesn't matter what business you're in. All these concepts are the things that are gonna make for a successful business, whatever industry you're in.
So just a question. Okay, so how did y'all first funnel go? Like, Gabe, how did your very, very first funnel go? Was it like a big success or was it like a big flop?
No, definitely a big flop. It was me trying to kind of, like, I saw what Anno Domini was doing, and I was like kind of trying to copy it, but try to put my own little spin on it. And it was trash. Like, it looked horrible. The design was bad. The flow of it didn't really make sense. But it's just like making beats, right? Like, the first time you do it, it's probably going to suck. But if you've got a tutorial, if you've got some loops or a template or something to start, that's probably going to help you out a bit, so you have some kind of foundation. So that's one of the things we try to offer is like, okay, cool. Don't wait and, try to take 10 years or whatever it took for me to like keep trying all these different things and testing all this different stuff. Like at least start with the foundation of something that works. You're still going to have to test it and tweak it. It's still going to take work, but at least don't start all the way back here. Like start right here. And now it's a lot of work to get to here, but at least you don't have to start way back here where, Anno Domini did, or even where I did. So yeah, it was trash. It was trash when I started, but it's just like anything. You keep working at it, you get better. And when you've got a community, you've got templates, you've got resources, you've got these different things, it's going to make that process not only faster, but actually more enjoyable. And you're going to create those relationships with other people who actually understand what you're going through, which, a lot of people don't. We make sure in the MIDI Money community that we're actually celebrating all these little wins, right? That's why we do those awards. But we also have stuff like, hey, when you get your first sale, post up in the Facebook group, and we're all gonna celebrate that. When you get your first lead, post that up in the Facebook group. We're all going to celebrate that because we know how much work that takes. If you got your first lead, it means you actually put together your offer. You figured out who your customer avatar is. You built your funnel. You've got all the tech working so that an email actually fires out. Like, it's a lot of work, right? It's not easy. Again, we make it as easy as possible. You still have to do the work. And so if you tell some random friend, hey, I got one email address, they'll be like, yeah, great. Like, who cares, right? But you tell us, you tell a community who understands, then we're like, nice job. That's awesome. Like, you got through the hard part. You got through the hardest part. Now we can keep going. And when you're surrounded by those people, it gives you that strength. It gives you that community. It makes you feel like you're not crazy so that you can stick with it long enough to actually possibly have a chance of getting good at it and ultimately building that successful, sustainable business.
And just to go on from what Gabe's just said there, I literally remember when I started for my first funnel, obviously after going through the training, literally went through the whole thing and like just smashed through it as fast as I could, just trying to take in all the gems. And because of like obviously everything that was provided for me, I could literally just, get started pretty much, straight away in the space of a few hours. And I remember thinking like, how long is it going to, I was speaking to my business partner, how long is it going to take to kind of, recoup the money that we've invested into this course? And man, the templates and everything, it was popping off. I literally couldn't even believe it. And within the space of like 2 days, we'd already recouped, the investment that we'd made into the course. And we'd obviously learned all this knowledge about, building relationships, email marketing, nurturing, SMS, funnels, like the whole concept of actually like, like you said, this can be applied into any industry. So what Gabe's actually teaching here is such a great skill to have, not even just in music, just in life in general, really. It's crazy, man.
I'm gonna just put it like this, y'all. So the advantage is they took most of the L's for y'all, all the figuring out the colors and figuring out okay, how to post this and how to make it look good. Like, they took all those L's for you, you know what I'm saying? And I know, like, just from buying the course, and it was like 2 years ago, I know, like, I see what it is, man. They have everything laid out step by step by step by step. So I highly suggest, man, go ahead and sign up for the webinar, and then pay attention to the offer that's being offered to you at the end. But with that being said, man, I got the Zoom link in here. We go ahead and wrap it up with this. As far as the webinar, Gabe, anything else you really want to say?
I mean, honestly, I'm just excited to get everybody on here. I try to pack a lot of information in a short period of time, so my apologies if I was trying to do a little bit too much of that earlier. But on that training, we'll have a little bit more time. Don't come through unless you have a little bit of time to come hang out and you're interested in this stuff and you want to learn about it, or at least you have an inkling that you might want to learn about it. But if you do, then I can confidently say there's no better place. If you want to learn how to actually build a business from your music as a producer, whether that is selling beats or packs or loops or kits or just about anything else, I feel really confident that is the best place to be. So come hang out. Come to that training. The training is free. Like we said, it's going to be at least an hour, probably 2 hours of pure value, just gems, showing exactly how we set this process up. And then at the end, obviously completely optional. If you're like, you know what, I think I want to join this community. I want to get weekly coaching from Wish and Billy. I want to be able to do a $10,000 day like Temper did. I want to hang out with these guys and be in that community. We'll show you how you can do that. And we're offering it, by the way, at a price that we literally never have. We've been doing this for 2 years now. This is the first and maybe only time we're going to be offering it at this big discount. So if you ever maybe possibly consider doing it, this is going to be the one to do it as a special thank you to Producer Grind for being so supportive and really, really helping make MIDI Money what it is.
Someone said, if I'm trying to get better at email marketing, will this help? Bro, if you're trying to make some bread, bro, if you're trying to take this seriously, it's going to help. Just because of that, I'm going to spam it 10 more times, bro. It's going to help, bro. This is definitely, yes. Definitely, the answer is yes, man. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there was another question above. Someone said, yeah, man, y'all be asking for the sauce, man. How do I build relationships without giving away free beats?
I think we all said it. You don't have to give away free beats.
Facts.
It's just value. Whatever you can leave it,
Facts.
whatever you can teach somebody that needs something. How can you fix their problem? It could be a short little video talking about something you might have learned about Spotify for an artist. How do they get their music out there? How do they get on different Spotify lists or whatever? How do they get more views on YouTube? It could be anything.
Saying if you're starting out small, just with a small audience, just starting out, it could be simple, just as helping them. We know about the music business because we want to know how to get our money. Artists might not know, man. Me being an engineer, I done dealt with plenty of artists in the studio. Bro, I don't know how to put my music on Spotify. I don't know how to. But just by sending them a link to a blog post, bro, that's value, bro. It's as simple as that. And saying, okay, this is a guide step by step on how to register your music, how to set it up with Spotify, get it on all the streaming stores. Like, it don't have to be a free beat, bro. It could be something simple as that. A YouTube video on how to copyright your songs. Like, it could be so simple. You feel me?
Yeah, Billy does beat or song critiques once a week, and he gets more and more people in there, and he just critiques their songs, and he's brutally honest. Sometimes he's so honest that I'm like, damn, but no, he's really honest in there. But they really love him, and they're like, man, thank you for being honest, and thank you for doing it. And then he just builds that list from there, and I mean, he's doing something for the community too. So it's not like you're, this is the thing about people say like, oh, you're getting free beats, but then you're going to try to sell me on something. But you can leave with the free beats and get out of my email list. Like that's that easy, and you can go make money with those beats, right? It's a win-win situation for them. So
yeah, I mean, like the community aspect of me doing live song reviews every single week for the artist community is pretty dope. You see what I'm saying? That allows me to build a relationship with them, and I didn't necessarily, gave them away free beats, but they all want to get their music heard. Check me out. So I was like, man, I need to set something up so that I can, listen to their music, give them a little bit of exposure with what they got going on, and then as the community keeps growing, then they get some feedback on their music, and then they get some extra pair of ears to their music. But what you can also do is just ask your small following, your small audience, what is it that they're struggling with, and then you just give them what they need or what they want, and it's as simple as that. Ask them what they're struggling with, you know what I mean? And yeah.
Facts.
don't listen. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you good.
I was gonna say, don't listen to the negative comments in the group. Some people they always have advice, right? They're like, none of this works. It just takes big good beats or whatever. It's like, if you guys truly understood that it's not just about good beats, that does help. Don't get me wrong. You want to have good beats, but good beats is not going to make you blow up. That's not going to get you your business going. I'd say it's 20% beats, 80% business and marketing. So don't listen to that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just think about it. It's just intuitive. Like, is it only the best producers, the most amazing beat makers in the world that are making all the money making beats? And is it, the only ones struggling are the ones who have garbage beats?
Right.
No, we all know the answer is no, right? Like, there's no way I'm the best producer even here, let alone wherever, but I make more money than most producers because I'm a marketing nerd, because I've geeked out on that stuff. So there's your answer right there. You're like, yes, that would be great, right? In this perfect ideal world, everything is just based off merit, and if you make dope beats, money falls from the sky, and the right manager is going to come rescue you. The record label is going to bust through the door and write you checks, right? That publishing deal is just going to fall on top of you. Like, yes, that would be amazing, but we all know that's not how the world works. If you actually want to be successful, you have to learn how to build your own brand. You have to learn these basics of marketing and business, and if you're going to learn them, you might as well figure out how to have a fun time doing it and join a community that's also doing the same thing.
Right. And if you think that's true, go listen to the radio. That'll give you your answer.
There you go.
So we got Shady Beats in here. he was in the waiting room, so I'm gonna add him in. You go ahead and ask your question, bro, real quick before we wrap it up, if you want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good, fams?
What's up,
going on?
Yo, what's good, man?
Yes, sir. So, I'm thinking like, do you guys collect like royalties from free beat packs and so forth?
I personally don't. I always give 100% of the royalties to the artist, just because, you know, it's going to help them out a lot further. It's going to build that relationship up with them more because you're willing to do that. And, you know, in reality, the amount of artists that you're going to get, you know, going to get beats from you, you know, you're not even going to be able to track those royalties in the first place in terms of like, I don't know how to say this. I feel like just giving them the royalties.
It's a tough thing to ask, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's hard
to get royalties. That's how, you know, but there's not that many royalties to be made anymore like that. You know what I mean? And it's a great area because you could still collect your publishing, which technically you're getting some royalties from that. So
yeah, it's hard one to explain.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah,
it's really just about the terms you put in that contract, right? The license that you give them with those free beats, you can put whatever you want in there. You can say you keep 100% of the publishing. You could say you keep whatever percentage of the royalties. It's really up to you and whatever you feel comfortable. The reality is the money that's going to be made is really going to be on the front end. When we're talking about $10,000 in 10 minutes or $10,000 days or $50,000 days or $200,000 weeks or seven-figure businesses, all these things, none of that is coming from, you know, a few pennies at a time from streaming royalties or anything like that, right? It's just not where it is. So like that stuff's cool if that's something that's important to you, but I wouldn't really focus on it. So I wouldn't worry about it that much. If it gives you some peace of mind to make sure you put in that contract that you're keeping 50%, 100%, whatever you want of your publishing and or your royalties, cool, feel free to do that. But I wouldn't be counting on all that back end money to be the thing that's actually going to be, you know, your foundation for your business.
Exactly. I always say my placements are my bragging rights about I sell online or what pays me my bills, you know.
One thing I'm adding there, bro, it always goes back to value and trust. I'm not gonna use beats as an example, but I'm definitely gonna use kits. When we do our free packs, we give them out royalty free, and we do our when we do our free packs, we also give out the stems, because it's all about gaining that trust and that value in the people who's buying our kit. So let's say if I'm downloading this kit from our site, and first off it's free, then it's royalty free, and then I have stems to it and it's fire. Best believe when that website drops a paid pack, I already trust them. I'm gonna hop on that immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it's just value. And
think about it, if somebody got a placement off one of your loops too, and how that's going to help you bring value to your site too. You know,
facts. Exactly. Like when we do royalty free. Since plenty of people don't got placements. I got a YG placement off of one of my loops, and that situation they gave me credit. Like they reached out to me and said, "Yo, let's give you credit." But we have another situation where T Will, he got a placement off of one of his loops. It was for Lil Papa or Pop. It was an artist. I think it was his name, Lil Papa. But I mean, situations like those, man, you just got to look at it. Like it's really dependent on you. How I look at it is, you know, you might have missed out on some money, or you might have missed out on a lot of money. But at the end of the day, to me, it's just me. Relationships matters more. So this is my opportunity to reach out to that dude and be like, yo, what's up? Use that loot. Hey, that's my joint. Shit, let me send you some more. Let's build a more relationship. You know, a year down the line, 6 months down the line, you probably got something way bigger than what you was probably gonna go on you know what I'm saying, a little rage train about. You know what I'm saying? You probably got something way bigger 2 years or a year later down the line. So, you know, it just all depends on you.
The value of you being able to brag about that to the loop is going to show other producers too that the loops actually have value, that they get placements with them too. So that's going to be way more valuable than even the royalties off that placement.
Facts. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Man, I don't really know what to say, man. I feel like this was a whole. I'm gonna watch this joint back. Might have to re-edit the video and drop the video. But man, Gabe, Wishmaster, Temper, Big Shot, man, I appreciate y'all for, you know what I'm saying, tapping in with us, coming on here, dropping the gems, making us comfortable, man, and just providing this webinar for us on Thursday.
Man, appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for having me on. And man, I want to do it soon too, where, you know, I come out there, you come out here, we do the the full interview because I got a lot, feel like we just kind of scratched the surface. I got a lot of, some things to talk about, but I'm definitely excited for Thursday because we're going to get deep into specifically how to do, the stuff that we talked about today. So, and you'll be on there, right? You're going to come hang out. You'll be part of that.
Yeah, I'll be talking.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. But with that being said, man, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream with that. Like I said, I really appreciate y'all for coming in here, y'all. Man, rewind this back, man, cause definitely plenty of gems you could have got out of this whole playbooks that Gabe gave out, Wishmaster gave out. It was whole playbooks in here that y'all could definitely use right now. So that being said, I'm gonna put this link in the chat for y'all one more time, and that's really it, man. I'll see y'all later. Just to let y'all know we do have a behind the beat and an interview dropping this week for y'all, so y'all be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, man, I'll see everybody later. Y'all have a blessed day. Yeah, we gone.
Thanks, guys.
Get it. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, but you still free for that call?
Let's chat after this.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Perfect.